Picture an executive in the middle of a high-stakes corporate crisis. They are patient, measured, and in total control. Now, watch what happens 45 minutes later when they walk through their front door. Over a minor inconvenience like a misplaced set of keys, that exact same executive snaps at their spouse. We tend to assume that flawless professional ethics are a sign of durable human character. But if that were true, a leader's patience wouldn't evaporate during the commute home. This pattern is known as the family paradox. It occurs when individuals give their highest standards of emotional intelligence to colleagues and strangers, while reserving their lowest behavioral standards for the people who matter most. This shift from the boardroom to the breakfast table is a direct byproduct of the environments we inhabit. Our surroundings act as invisible engineers, shaping our behavior to fit the specific architecture of the room. Situational strength theory maps environments on a spectrum using 4 pillars: clarity, consistency, constraints, and consequences. Workplaces are strong situations, governed by metrics and termination threats, forcing compliance. Conversely, homes are weak situations, lacking corporate structure, where unconditional love removes immediate consequences. In the office, the system enforces compliance through the threat of professional ruin. At home, those guardrails vanish, leaving a leader's actual character to operate without the help of a formal hierarchy. Operating successfully inside a rigid office structure requires continuous cognitive labor. Biting your tongue when a subordinate makes a mistake, or projecting optimism during a bad quarter burns through finite reserves of willpower, leading to self-regulatory fatigue. Leaders often cross their own thresholds in a state of advanced psychological depletion. They simply lack the remaining energy required to regulate their emotions, actively listen to a partner, or correctly interpret social cues. This exhaustion triggers a mechanism called moral licensing. Having spent all day acting with ethical restraint at work, a leader subconsciously feels they have earned the right to be selfish, irritable, or lazy at home. This logic is a trap. Public sacrifice and professional success do not grant a person the right to act destructively in private. Domestic life also suffers from the very thing that makes it feel safe: long-term intimacy. Deep familiarity can soften professional boundaries, leading a leader to deliver blunt, aggressive criticism to a child that they would never dream of saying to a client. This image shows a sterile surgical theater, the height of professional rigor. But even in medicine, familiarity creates neglect. Data from the Royal College of General Practitioners shows that doctors delayed cancer diagnoses in their long-term patients by 7 days because their comfort with the patient dulled their analytical urgency. These patterns are timeless. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and ultimate practitioner of Stoicism, managed an entire empire with legendary self-regulation. Yet he failed to recognize or correct the corrupt nature of his own son, Commodus, whose reign eventually destroyed the era of Roman peace. Decades later, Mahatma Gandhi wielded massive moral authority to lead India to independence. But the man who successfully united a nation presided over a fractured biological family, applying an uncompromising ideology to his children that eventually drove his eldest son into destitution. These historical patterns suggest that public excellence often creates internal neglect. When a leader's energy is entirely consumed by the macro-level duties of an empire or a movement, the interpersonal needs of their own household often go unnoticed. Standard corporate hacks won't solve the family paradox. Fixing this disparity requires a complete re-architecting of what the home is actually for. This ancient Vedic manuscript introduces the concept of the Grhastha Ashrama, or the householder stage. It offers a structural solution to the trap of moral licensing. This framework treats the home as the absolute epicenter of ethical duty. It transforms the household from a passive recovery zone into a self-imposed strong situation, bound by sacred responsibility rather than corporate KPIs. This framework reframes the family unit as an unvarnished leadership laboratory. Here, you cannot issue a formal directive or leverage a quarterly bonus. Influence is earned through emotional intelligence and patience rather than a title. A leader's legacy is defined in the moments after the audience leaves, and the title becomes irrelevant. Character is what remains when there is no financial incentive, no public stage, and no formal role left to protect you.